Sales and marketing. This is what I hear time and time again through this industry that is all a wholesaling business is. Sales and marketing. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a rant, but I'm a firm believer that if you believe wholesaling is nothing more than sales and marketing, you are only saying that to sell your education course. Here's the reason why. I'm all about simplifying things. But if you simplify wholesaling down to all that you need is good marketing and good sales, then you're going to be able to run a wholesaling operation. You're not going to have a sustainable business. There's so many more idiosyncrasies to this business that allow you to sustain. The other aspect of this is for those of us that have been in this industry for longer than a couple of years, we understand how much the market has changed, how much marketing has changed, how regulations are impacting wholesaling across the United States. Brent Daniels went on Real Estate Disruptors a couple of weeks ago and had a great conversation with Steve Train. And one of the things that Brent brought up is name wholesale gurus, educators, teachers, coaches, whatever you want, that have been in this industry, that have been coaching in this industry for longer than 10 years. And Steve and Brent, quite frankly, struggled to come up with more than a couple. Now, my feelings on that is part of the reason why there was a limited number of educators and coaches that have lasted that long is because they did not understand what was happening in the industry. I think today, the people that are simplifying this down and saying, listen, to be good at wholesaling, you just got to be good at marketing and sales, you can succeed. If you believe that, think about all of the things that you are not prioritizing inside of your wholesaling business. This is why at Titanium University, I do not believe that, I do not coach that, and we hammer home certain aspects of this industry that we feel you need to be great at. First and foremost, comping and underwriting. I will say multiple people that I have heard preach that wholesaling is as simple as marketing and sales, due to us being nationwide, doing the 50-50-50 challenges, and also me getting to know a lot of people in this industry through networking. I have gotten leads, talked to sellers, maybe even acquired deals, and reached out to people across this industry, across the United States, and said, hey, I know you're in such and such market. Can you analyze this deal for me? Can you maybe dispo this deal for me? Do you want a joint venture on this deal? And it's about 20% of the time where those people that I reach out to can even help me analyze the deal. There was one time where I was at an event and I was closing on stage, and I'll never forget. I'm on the stage. I'm on the phone with a seller, and one of the people that's up on stage is supposed to be helping us happened to be from the market that the seller I was talking to, the property they were selling me, was in. So I said, hey, you're in this market, right? Yeah. Seller wants this much. You think that's a good deal? I don't know. I don't dispo deals. I've never dispoed a deal in my life. I'm like, all right, I get it. You're more on the acquisition side, but if acquisitions does not know what dispo can do, then how does acquisitions know how to do its job? Comping and underwriting is a vital skill that is needed for each and every wholesaler to be able to determine if the deal can be dispoed. I think dispositions is a highly neglected aspect of this industry. Now, when we simplify it down and we could say dispositions could be part of sales, yeah, it does take some sales skills. I just showed a video earlier this week of me negotiating back and forth with the buyer. Now, that was sales, but also understanding how to identify buyers, how to vet buyers out, how to have conversations with them in regards to the underwriting of the deal and whether or not the deal works, the acquisition strategy, talking about the different exit strategies that exist. I don't think that falls under sales to me. And if you're not prioritizing getting better at that and you're just trying to be a better salesman, this is what I believe gives our industry a bad rap. Like, if all you're worried about is converting your leads and then trying to hardcore sell your deals to your end buyers, yeah, that's where we get the rap of what value are we bringing to the marketplace. And I see it time and time again with quote unquote industry leaders because they've bought fake followers or they've gone out and they've done all these podcasts and they speak on stages and they create an education course. They now are a leader in this industry without really having the record that backs it up. Closed deals, right? Are you actually doing things the right way? And I think to avoid what is coming down the pipeline in regards to how our industry is perceived and the regulations that can be placed upon us, we have to change this narrative. We have to stop saying things like all wholesaling is marketing and sales. This is where licensed realtors, NAR, will look at us and say, well, we're held to a fiduciary duty to help homeowners. And we have the wholesalers over here saying that all you have to do is be good at marketing and then sales. That, to me, is being leveraged against us time and time again. This is why I'm so outspoken about being honest and transparent with homeowners when we're talking to them. This is my concern with the wave of what's happening with creative finance. I absolutely love Pace Morby. I think he is an amazing human being. However, I am concerned about, due to the masses that have joined Sub 2, some of the creative finance strategies being misused, where we're not looking at the exit strategies prior to locking up properties Sub 2 or seller finance. We're then assigning Sub 2s to end buyers and allowing them to go wrap those and maybe not keeping up with those payments. And it falls back on the wholesaler who was the original person that talked to the seller. Making sure that we are protecting ourselves for the long term. This is why Brent's point, where are the people from 10 years ago? Are the people you're listening to today going to be able to survive another 10 years? Have they even been able to survive 3 years before exiting this industry? This is a common concern that I've seen because I've seen it. We've been here a decade now. I have seen people come in, be the new hottest trend, and then they fizzle out. Why? Because we found out what they were teaching, what they were preaching. Their gospel was not working, wasn't working with the masses. Why? Because a lot of times it was just salesman tricks. It was, hey, this is the new marketing trend, do this. Another thing that I've seen is when we talk about the marketing aspect of this, right? Because it's like, hey, if you could just get good at marketing and then you know how to nurture these leads and close these leads, then you'll be successful. Well, on the marketing side of things, a lot of times the educators are placating to the people that don't have a lot of money, the newbies, right? Hey, if you don't have a lot of money, we're going to teach you how to come in. Lowest hanging fruit for newbies is cold calling. So we're going to teach you how to cold call, pull these leads, nurture these leads, be a good salesman, build the rapport, and close these deals. Again, this is another tactic that, to me, is not sustainable to the masses. Do people succeed with cold calling? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. It's across multiple industries that people succeed with cold calling. However, in 2024, there are much better marketing efforts and avenues than cold calling for wholesalers, where we can actually just fast forward the process. We don't have to mine for leads, and we could just go to talking to motivated sellers on a daily basis. And where that really helps us is we're never contracting deals that we should have never contracted in the first place. This is why you see people regularly talking about novations nowadays. They're cold calling, they're mining leads due to the fact that it's hard to mine for leads and find truly motivated sellers. They're not getting people that need to sell their house for a steep discount, a wholesale property. So now we're leveraging novations to come in and say, even though this is not a discounted enough property, I'm still going to contract it and I'm going to do a novation. Now I'm starting to hear stories about how some novations have gone wrong, the misuse of the attorney in fact or a power of attorney, all kinds of different horror stories that are coming out. And this is concerning to me because there's so many people preaching all of these different things that are going on that it points back to the wholesaling industry. It points back to if you're listening to someone that doesn't really understand the core concept of wholesaling and is simplifying it down to just marketing and sales, and they're not understanding comping and underwriting, they're not really digging deep on how to build relationships in the dispositions. They don't even understand transaction coordination. They don't even understand, quite frankly, how to do a better marketing avenue than a cold call or direct mail or something that's simple, that's been around forever. This is where I start becoming highly concerned for the wholesale industry. And so I make this video today to kind of ask you guys, pay attention to who you're listening to. Really think about what they're teaching you. And if it makes sense, if you look at that person and you say, is this person still going to be in the wholesaling industry 10 years from now? Do I want to create my business and mirror my business after this person? That what they're preaching, is it for selling education or is it for building sustainable wholesaling operations? Now, that being said, I think there are some amazing educators and teachers in this space. And a lot of those people are the people that I have reached out to when I've gotten leads or properties under contract during either my own acquisitions, my team's acquisitions, during 50-50-50s. Some of you have heard me have the conversations with those people during live videos. I think Chris Jefferson is an amazing leader in this space. He does deals. When I call him, it is a very simple conversation. You can clearly see that that man understands real estate. He doesn't look at this and say it's just marketing and sales. He understands all of the aspects of this business. Eric Brewer is another one. I've done multiple deals with Eric Brewer, and every time I've talked to him, it was very clear that he understood what was going on. Leon G. Barnes, that man does deals in Wichita, Kansas. It's an absolute fact because when I call him, he understands that market. I could tell him the street and he will say the ARV is this. That is what you should expect when you are talking to a quote unquote leader. When you call someone and you say, hey, you're in this city, right? You do deals there? Yeah. All right, awesome. What about this property? And they say, well, let me call you back. And you never hear back from them. Or, hey, I've got a property under contract in your backyard. Do you want to dispo that deal for me? No, I can't move that one. Yet my team virtually can move the deal in 24 hours or less. It's concerning. It's concerning when you then turn around and you see people with 70, 80, 90, 100,000 followers on Instagram and they're preaching, this is what the wholesaling industry is. This is what the wholesaling industry should be about. but you're not even able to do deals in your own backyard. You're not able to have a simple conversation about what's happening in your own market. So my request to each and every one of you that have watched this video this far is to really think about who are you following and why. And I want to get your opinion. Do you, in your mind, simplify wholesaling down to it's just marketing and sales? Or do you think that there's more to this industry, more to what your business, if you're going to be a wholesaler, is going to be? Is it going to be just as simple as turn on the marketing switch, which nowadays is just as simple as swiping a credit card? I mean, let's be real. The only reason why they're preaching that is because they're trying to placate to you, the newbie, who thinks that you need to learn about marketing. There are people out there that do that for us nowadays, that have dedicated their entire career to being great at marketing. You don't have to be great at marketing. And then in sales, quite frankly, the only time we should ever be doing sales as a wholesaler is when we're dispoing a deal. Because on the acquisition side, we are the buyer. We're not doing sales. You don't need a sales process for that. You need to be able to understand how to ask questions, listen, and to be a problem solver, and to see if your solution fits into the seller's needs. And if so, then it's a match made in heaven. This is why people look at what I do and they say, he doesn't have a process. Well, I do. That's why I've been able to sustain this for a decade. So the people that question that, maybe you should start questioning them and whether or not they're saying that because they're so successful as a wholesaler or because they're trying to sell you on their education. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a like if you enjoyed today's topic. We'll see you guys tomorrow.